In the little town of Sedalia, Colorado, my dad and I started the towed braking market when we invented the Brake Buddy braking system. Now, 20 years later, we're changing the market again with a new crew and a new product, the RVI brake.
Hey guys, it's the RVI guys again, Dan and Jared. We're here to talk about why we do what we do. And today we're going to address the 12-volt battery direct kit. The question that we get from customers a lot is, what is it and do I need one? So first question, Dan, what is the 12-volt battery direct kit?
Well, the 12-volt battery direct kit is a dedicated 12-volt outlet that goes from the inside of the driver's compartment of the towed vehicle through the firewall and attaches directly to the battery of the towed vehicle.
Perfect. So now let's talk about those customers that ask the question, well, do I need one? Who are the specific customers for a product like this? Because it's not everybody.
Sure. Well, there's actually 2 or 3 reasons why you would need a 12-volt battery direct kit if you're towing. So one of the first reasons is not all towed vehicles have high quality 12-volt outlets stock in the vehicle. They have very small wiring size. So that's one of the reasons that we would have the 12-volt battery direct kit.
Tell them what kind of gauge wire we're using here, just so they know.
Yeah, so we're using a 16 gauge wire. It's not super heavy, but it's not a big distance from the inside of the towed vehicle to the battery, so we don't have to go crazy with wire size.
Right. And then who else? Who else would need something like this?
So there's a lot of towed vehicles out there that you have to pull a fuse or maybe 2 or 3 fuses when towing, and sometimes that fuse will knock out the power to the 12-volt outlet. So once you pull your fuses, you could still plug the RVI brake into our dedicated line and you always have power.
Because this bypasses the fuse box, it bypasses the computer, it's just directly connected, and that's why we can do that.
Right, it's an aftermarket product. It has nothing to do with the vehicle or the way the 12-volt outlet in the vehicle works.
So we get a lot of customers as well that will call and say, how am I supposed to power this thing? I have to disconnect my battery altogether. There's a handful of manufacturers that recommend that. So what would they do in that case, Tim?
Sure, there are definitely vehicles out there that you have to do a full disconnect on the battery with a knife switch or some sort of a switch right on the battery. So again, when towing, you wouldn't have any kind of power to any of the 12-volt outlets in the towed vehicle. So again, the dedicated line would always have power because you would be on the opposite side of the cutoff switch. So even though you're cutting off power to the towed vehicle, we would still have power to the 12-volt outlet.
So as you can see, there's lots of good reasons. It's a really inexpensive piece, but we put a lot of craftsmanship into it. We're fused up to 20 amps, so we can handle the highest draws on it, which is awesome. But it's a great little piece to have if you need it. Not every car needs it, obviously, but we are trying to provide solutions for those vehicles out there because you guys are at the mercy of the manufacturer like we are. I think there's also another important thing we need to talk about.
Sure.
What happens to your nose?
Well, you know, the wife and I were discussing where we were going to go RVing last week. She had one idea, I had another idea. This is what happened.
She won.
She won.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned and having fun with us. See you next time.